Hey, what the fuck is up, y'all? It's Crazy McCormick up in this motherfucking bitch for Juggalo a Day, bitch. Now, I know I'm a day late, but, hey, it's like we said last week, you know, we're running short on ideas, and, you know, it's taking us a little bit longer to try to come up with things, to talk about and share our opinions on when it concerns topics. But the other day and earlier today, I was driving around doing my job and everything, and I believe I ended up coming up with something interesting. And what it is actually it comes from a conversation, or a couple of conversations that I've had with a few of my customers, because as you know, I do drive for Uber, I drive for Lyft, I drive you know, running orders for Grubhub as well. So I get to talk to a lot of people, and one of the things that did come to mind was as I was driving around, you know, driving around my neighborhood, driving around downtown, and you could see a lot of changing happening. As a matter of fact, one person ended up saying that they feel that Grand Rapids, the city that I live in, tends to be probably one of the fastest growing cities currently in the United States. And the reason being is because we have a lot of craft brewery places that have been popping up, 4 of them actually on the street that I'm on right now, Alpine. And you know, we have Founders, we have a bar specifically for New Holland Brewery. I'm pretty sure that we'll probably end up having one for Bell's at some point, which is from Kalamazoo. And not to mention, you know, there's a lot of hustle and bustle that goes on in my city. Not saying that there's not in yours, but it's rapidly growing. And doing my jobs, I have done a lot of business with business people. Picking them up from the airport or dropping them off, or picking up people that are, you know, touring around, checking out the scenery, all this type of shit. And on top of that, I don't know if you can see through the windows in the background, but there's a lot of older buildings that have actually been standing for very long periods of time. As a matter of fact, the house that I live in, my girlfriend has said that the house has been in her family for the last 3, 4, maybe 5 generations. That's a long-ass time. Probably one of the few houses that have actually been up since the town has been founded. So there's a lot of history when it concerns this location, but there also seems to be a lot of, one customer ended up actually calling it gentrification. Because there was a lot of, you know, there's a lot of new businesses that are popping up. A lot of businesses are growing now. And because of the foot traffic, it also ends up increasing the cost of property tax, which in turn has actually been causing people who have been living in the nearby neighborhoods around downtown for the longest time to move out and to try to venture for cheaper locations because they can't afford living in the home that they own, which is rather fucked up in a way. But yeah, that's basically the topic, is the idea of this whole gentrification thing. I mean, is it happening in your town? If not, you know, what's your opinion on it? Hell, either way, is it, you know, if whether or not it is happening in the city that you live in, you know, what's your opinion on it? My thoughts, honestly, I look at it from 2 different sides. You know, I look at it from a point of business, and I look at it from a point of personal perspective. As a point of business, because of the jobs that I do, Uber, Lyft, and Grubhub, even the job itself is partially to blame for everything that I had just mentioned. But when it concerns the job, you know, it's great because of the fact that it opens up the market and it introduces people, new people, into this type of field constantly. You know, whether it be new drivers, which I guess I could say is bad, and new riders, which in all honesty is good. But because of the growth ratio between the two, it actually evens out. But there's a lot of new faces that I pick up. There's barely anybody that I've ever picked up twice in comparison to the amount of total trips that I've done with both Uber and Lyft. Grubhub being a new thing into Grand Rapids, and it actually works out for me financially. And because of the amount of different types of people that are constantly coming in and going out, it actually works good. And in the end, and it's because of all of this new business that keeps on popping up in Grand Rapids. Now, on a personal side of thing, I do actually find that it is bullshit that they are increasing the amount of apartment complexes that they do have here. Yeah, they look nice, they're new and everything else, but I would have to say not that they're poorly constructed, but they're constructed too quickly. And chances are they're going to end up looking like the West Side within a matter of a few years, even after they've finished out building these apartment complexes. But because of all of these apartment complexes that are coming in, it's actually causing the market to increase, thus increasing the amount of money that people have to put down on everything in order to just survive, which, in all honesty, kind of sucks. Because there are some people that are just used to the way that they live, and they're used to the way that they have been doing things for so many years, only for this type of thing to come in and change everything. Change how they live, change what they pay, change how they get paid, and all this other type of stuff. It's a double-edged sword, in all honesty. But if the only way to really survive in that kind of environment is just to adapt, you have to adapt to that type of thing at a near constant rate, because everything is constantly changing. Everything is constantly improving. So that's the type of thing that is really highly questionable when it concerns this day and age. Now, I don't think that this really means anything to me as a juggalo. I'm one of the few types of people that actually have not been fucked with. So I would actually now that I think about it, I'd say that this makes it a positive thing being a juggalo, because I'm able to adapt. I'm able to keep up with this type of situation. Being a normal living person in society that listens to fat rapping clowns. So that's what I have to say about that. What are your opinions? Tune in later on today for Mr. McInhose. I'm sure he's going to have to pull something out of his ass about this whole situation. Don't forget to like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, do so. And you can also hit the little bell that will actually let you know whenever we get a video updated. Also, don't forget that we do have that contest going on. Contest is still running. We're looking for a logo, looking for a banner. Winners are going to be receiving free copies of Juggalos Against Sanity. If one person ends up winning both, they get a free copy of Juggalos Against Sanity and their choice of either The Quest for Shangri-La, Morton's List, or Into the Echo Side. And come hell or high water, if that happens, come hell or high water, I will find a copy for that winner, one way or the other. The submissions are to be put on our Facebook group page. Either that, or you can just message us and on Facebook for Juggalo a Day, and you can apply your submissions there. And the cutoff date is going to be April 23rd, which is the last day of the DCG Con. After we have collaborated all of these things together, we will actually show who the winners are, and those will be the new logo and banner for everything in our social media for Juggalo a Day. That's it for now, and I'm out this bitch. I've got food to eat, food to deliver, people to pick up and drop off, and all that other shit. So I'm out this bitch. Till next week. Deuces.